everybody, and welcome to the Grand Prix review for the 2020 Austrian Grand Prix. You know how this goes. It's more of a forum type show that we like to sit around having a look about what happened in the previous race. Was now, about an hour ago. Yes, exactly 1 hour ago since the checkered flag fell and the race was concluded. We're back on air now to wrap up the show, because it has been one of those days where I think Beth put it best during the race as well. Consistency of the stewards, I think, has been today. In total, 9 5-second time penalties have been given as well. And they were 5 seconds and 10 seconds for Pierre Gasly as well. The controversy started with Lando Norris making no contact, but the reason he got the penalty is because he didn't leave any room for Sergio Perez around the outside at turn 1. Now, it has split the F1 community right down the middle of that penalty. Everyone I speak to, there's for one person who says, yes, it was fair. There's one person who says, yes, it wasn't. No, it wasn't fair. It's been that type of situation today. But the stewards have had to remain consistent, regardless of personal things. They've happened. Lando Norris got a 5-second penalty for forcing Sergio Perez off the track. Sergio Perez then got a penalty for forcing Charles Leclerc off the track in exactly the same situation at the same corner. Then he got another one for forcing him off at the Vutch curve as well. And overall, it was an absolute mess. Sonoda got 2 5-second time penalties for crossing the white pit lane line as well. Going over black and white flags, Schumacher, Mazepin, Raikkonen and Alonso in total as well. And it just really was a messy day. Lewis Hamilton off the track limits at turn 10. That's how he damaged his floor. He never got picked up for that either. There was no penalty for Kimi Raikkonen or Mick Schumacher for breaking Esteban Ocon's front right wheel on the opening lap of the race. 0 penalty for that. Where is the consistency in the stewards for this matter? There should have been a penalty for either Raikkonen or for Mick Schumacher for hitting Ocon. There wasn't. So I'm not happy with that at all, actually. There should have been some penalty. The stewards have got to remain consistent. Derek Warwick was the driver steward this weekend as well, and maybe he'll be getting some flack from the drivers later on. But it was a cracking Grand Prix. Compared to 7 days ago, we had a lot of action today, which is absolutely great news as well. And a lot of wheel-to-wheel on-track action. The sets of tyres as well. The C5 now being the softest, and then the C4 the medium, the C3 the hard. Everybody wanted to run on the C3 hard compound tyre because they knew it was last week's mediums. They can get to the end of the race on that. So that provided closer racing and more pack racing. And that is what the sprint race next to mine at Silverstone's going to do when everyone's stuck on the soft compound tyre. Bring it on, because that was great racing. But it's not racing, it's qualifying. So we'll get onto that later. But let's go through the top 3 at the moment as well. As we see, for the 5th race in a row, Red Bull have taken a victory, and for the 4 out of those 5 races, because Perez won in Azerbaijan, it's been this man, Max Verstappen, winning the championship, winning the race here in Austria, and sort of being 5 out of 9 races. Is that championship ever closer for him? Valtteri Bottas, a great race for him today, finishing in 2nd place as well, getting ahead of Lewis Hamilton, sort of starting his championship off right as well. And Lando Norris, despite that 5-second time penalty, said that 5th was actually the aim today. He was up there and got 3rd place. Admittedly, that could have been because Hamilton had a problem on the track as well, running over the track, damaging the rear of his car. That cost him some downforce as well, and lost him 30% of the downforce. Unbelievable. But there's your top 3. Verstappen, followed by Bottas and Norris. And if we take that graphic away, we can show you the full results. Hey, who says I can't do technology without Megan here to fill? But this is the full results then of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's Max Verstappen taking victory. The race was only 1 hour, 23 minutes and 54 seconds. One of the quickest races we've had of the year. Usually Monza is around about this time. So very quick race. And we had a safety car, so it could have been even shorter as well. Bottas 2nd, Norris 3rd, Hamilton 4th, from Sainz 5th, Perez. Now, this is the thing. Perez did get his 10-second penalty, so has now dropped into P6. We were wondering if he was going to drop P8 or so, but the contact between Vettel and Raikkonen sort of disrupted that field, and he was able to get a 10-second advantage, so he only dropped to P6, gets ahead of Daniel Ricciardo in P7. Charles Leclerc makes his way up to P8 as well. Great job for the Ferraris today after they were outside the top 10 in qualifying. Gasly 9th and Alonso 10th, and so cruels that George Russell finishes P11, once again denied points. I'm just seeing on the pictures there, talking to Toto Wolff in front of me. Very cruel that he was denied points. Sonoda in 12th, then Stroll, Giovinazzi, Latifi, Raikkonen, Vettel, Schumacher, Mazepin, and then the only driver out of the race was Esteban Ocon in the end of that one. And Ocon's accident was sort of the nail in the coffin, wasn't it, for what could be Alpine's chance to get up the field today. They had to deal with Alonso and only 1 point. They could have had 2 cars in the points-paying positions so far today. Let's take a look then at the Drivers' Championship. Now that we take 2 weeks off, it's about time we have a look at it in the post-race show as well. Max Verstappen leads on 182 points to Lewis Hamilton on 150. That is, 32-point gap going into Silverstone. Verstappen will lead the title, leaving the British Grand Prix, regardless of what Lewis does. It's quite nice to see. Then we get... Yeah, he will. Going in then as well, Hamilton second. Perez now third. He's 3 points clear of Lando Norris. Closing up then, and Bottas in P5 on 92 points. 2 points between Leclerc and Sainz in 6th and 7th. Ricciardo on 40, a point ahead of Gasly. Vettel still managing to be in the top 10 despite not scoring any points today. Alonso now to 20 points, as we said as well. Then it's Lance Stroll on 14, Ocon 12, Yuki Tsunoda 9, Raikkonen only on 1, the same as Giovinazzi. No points though for Russell, Schumacher, Mazepin or Latifi. And that's a shame, because if Russell did get points, he would have jumped up the board quite high. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, if I get my graphics right, here we go. The Red Bull once again lead the way. The only change has come from McLaren and Ferrari, but it is Red Bull Racing 286 points to Mercedes 242. So a 44-point gap there in the title of the Constructors' Championship. McLaren 141 points now to Ferrari's 122. This third place come at the right time for them. AlphaTauri 5th as well, 48. Aston Martin 44. Alpine 32. Alfa Romeo 2. And no points still for Williams or for Haas. You've got to admit, though, it was a disappointing situation there that they've lost those championship points, Williams, because they so desperately need them as well. But that's it then. 2 weeks break for Formula One before we go off to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. At the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to be on site, unfortunately. We are trying to see what we can do, if we can at least get down there for Friday's running to bring you free practice 1 and qualifying from trackside. And we'll be back here in the studio for Saturday and Sunday as well, which would be nice, because then we at least get some on-track action and back in the studio for the following day for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. But that's not to do, because next week, oh boy, have we got IndyCar for you. IndyCar races coming your way on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Highlights from Detroit Race 2, the Road America race and the Mid-Ohio race, which is about to start live on Sky Sports F1. Join us for highlights of that throughout the week. And next weekend on Saturday and Sunday, Edward Hunter returns to the commentary box as Formula E returns as we head over to Brooklyn for the New York City Prix, the, I think, 10th and 11th round of the championship. So I can't wait for that. Thanks for your company this weekend. Austria have delivered us with 2 great races, 2 dominating races for Red Bull as well. The battle is on now. Can Lewis Hamilton catch up at the British Grand Prix? We'll find out soon enough. Thanks for your company. It's goodbye from Austria.